When my father told me to just sign the papers and move on, I knew something was very wrong. I was standing in a hospital hallway that smelled like disinfectant and bad decisions. Through the glass window at the end of the corridor, I could see my wife, Mira, lying in a hospital bed, cradling a newborn. The baby wasn't mine. I didn't need a DNA test to know that. The timing alone made it impossible. I had been out of the country for nearly 4 months during the window she conceived. A long-term engineering contract in Singapore, daily video calls, sweet messages. I miss you. Come home soon. Apparently she wasn't that lonely. When I landed 2 days earlier than expected, I didn't come home to flowers or a welcome hug. I came home to a confession. She was 7 months pregnant. I was going to tell you, she said, as if timing was the real betrayal. The father? Just someone who doesn't matter, she claimed. That was insult number 1. Now, 2 months later, I was in that hospital hallway while nurses prepared birth registration forms, and my father was pressuring me. Listen, he said firmly, gripping my shoulder. You're her husband. Sign the birth certificate. Don't create a scandal. A scandal? I asked quietly. She cheated. She got pregnant. And I'm the scandal? He sighed impatiently. People make mistakes. The child is innocent. I agree, I said. The child is innocent. That doesn't make me the father. He lowered his voice. You don't understand the bigger picture. That sentence stuck with me. The bigger picture. For weeks, my parents had been strangely calm about everything. Too calm. My mother even visited Mira daily after the confession. They barely scolded her, barely confronted her. Meanwhile, they criticized me for overreacting. Now I was being asked to legally tie myself to another man's child. In our country, if a husband signs the birth certificate, he is legally the father, no matter what DNA later says. Financial responsibility, inheritance rights, custody complications, permanent. I'm not signing anything, I said. My father's jaw tightened. You will. Why? I asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he walked toward the hospital room. I followed. Mira looked exhausted, but not ashamed. They're waiting, she said softly. For what? I replied. For you to do the right thing. The right thing. I stared at the baby. Tiny, fragile, completely unaware of the mess surrounding its existence. Who's the real father? I asked. Silence. Mira looked at my father. And that's when I noticed it. The glance. Quick. Nervous. A silent conversation between them. Something clicked. I turned to my father slowly. You know who the father is. He didn't speak. Who is he? I pressed. My father's voice came out strained. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. Mira's eyes filled with tears. Please don't do this here. That was answer enough. My stomach dropped. Is it someone from the family? I asked. Silence again. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Then I remembered something from months ago. Before I left for Singapore, my younger cousin Arav had moved into our guest house temporarily. He was finding himself. My father insisted we help him. Arav and Mira got along well. Too well, maybe. I dismissed the thought at the time. Now it rushed back violently. Is it Arav? I asked. Mira started crying. My father grabbed my arm. Lower your voice. That was confirmation. I stepped back like the floor had tilted. My own cousin, living on my property, eating at my table, sleeping with my wife. And my father knew. Worse, he was trying to make me sign legal fatherhood papers to bury it. Why? I whispered. My father finally spoke clearly. If this comes out, it will destroy the family. Arav is young. He has a future. A scandal like this will ruin him. And me? I asked. You're married. You can handle it. I laughed. It wasn't funny. It was surreal. You're asking me to legally adopt the product of my wife's affair with my cousin? To protect him? My father's silence was louder than any confession. Everything made sense now. Why my parents defended Mira. Why they pressured me to forgive quickly. Why Arav suddenly moved abroad last month. They weren't protecting a marriage. They were protecting bloodline reputation. And they thought I would be the sacrifice. The nurse approached carefully with the forms. Sir, we just need your signature here. I looked at the pen, then at my father, then at Mira. No, I said calmly. My father's voice sharpened. Don't be selfish. Selfish. The irony nearly choked me. I want a DNA test filed immediately, I told the nurse. Mira gasped. That's humiliating. Not as humiliating as this. My father's face darkened. If you refuse, don't expect support from this family. I turned to him fully. You stopped being my support when you chose to hide this. The nurse quietly withdrew. The room felt smaller. I will not sign, I said firmly, and I will file for divorce today. Mira broke down completely. My father looked at me like I was the villain, but something inside me had shifted permanently. Over the next weeks, everything unraveled. The DNA test confirmed what we all knew. Arav was the biological father. He refused to return from abroad. My family tried to keep it quiet, but secrets rot from the inside. Eventually, word spread through extended relatives. The scandal they feared happened anyway. Except now, there was an added layer. They had tried to frame me into fatherhood. My divorce finalized within months. I walked away clean. No legal obligation, no false paternity. My father didn't speak to me for nearly a year. Then one evening, he called. Arav had cut off contact entirely. Mira had filed for child support against him. My uncle was furious. The future they tried to protect collapsed anyway. You could have helped, my father said weakly over the phone. I paused. I did, I replied. I helped myself. Silence. The bigger picture, I added quietly, was that you were willing to erase me to protect him. He didn't deny it. That was the final confirmation I needed. I don't hate the child. The child did nothing wrong. But I refused to carry consequences that weren't mine. The day my father demanded I sign those papers, I realized something painful. Some families value image over truth. Some fathers value bloodline over fairness. And sometimes the only way to survive betrayal isn't revenge, it's refusal. I refused to sign, I refused to lie, I refused to disappear for their comfort, and that decision saved the rest of my life.